Hey everybody, welcome back to another wonderful edition of RSG Lunch Hour. What is the lunch hour, you may be asking? Well, that's where we just hang out with you wonderful people for the next hour or so. Bring us some insights, do some roster reviews, answer some of your questions, and basically let mental damage ensue and chaos run across the land. I'm not here by myself. I'm joined by the whole RSG. We got a lot of the RSG crew here. Let's go around and introduce everybody. We've got, of course, the troll extraordinaire, Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman.
Ha ha ha.
No, don't do that. No, that's even worse. All right, moving on. Moving on for someone who's not. What's the word?
I need to be careful because you can punch me tomorrow.
Yeah, and I hit hard, Finn.
Hi, my name is Finity. I am with Reality Games.
For those who don't know, Finn is coming to Atlanta tomorrow. We'll be hanging out. We're doing we'll do a special stream tomorrow night after we eat for you guys, and we'll do some like Battlefront or something where I can chase Finn around and beat his ass.
I haven't played that controller in a long time.
I know, that's why it's going to be so great. You're going to be like, "What's this do, Dad?" Oh, it's trying to shot Finn in the face. In the face. Also join us. Click up all your questions. If you have questions, go ahead and put them in there. Make sure you put question in front of it if you have one. The soulless one himself, Mr. Gingivitis, Sanely Red.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, what's going on, Sanely? Also joining us all the way up from Canada, eh? It's up starting to get cold up there, right, eh? Team Money G. Well, that's the last you'll ever hear of Team G on this one. Game changer or not, I will not tolerate that nonsense.
Hi, Ranger.
You know, it's bad enough I have to go here when Dana comes on here and they go, pork. It's ridiculous. Don't start that shit with me. I am not.
The pterodactyl in me needed to be heard.
Oh, is that what it was?
I'm sorry if that's not okay with you. If you're not okay with my inner pterodactyl.
It's strange. It sounded
It's
like
a porgadactyl.
You shut your hole, Finn.
Thank you. That was the specific species. Finn,
yeah.
You're very progressive.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike
Pterodactyl porgadalus.
Yeah, keep it up.
I almost spit my coffee there. No. Hi, thanks for having me on. How's it going?
We're always glad to have the newest game changer on. Look at you, big money.
Pardon me?
Has all this power gone to your head yet?
Well, there wasn't a lot of room for my head to grow bigger in the first place, so I'll say no.
Okay.
Is your name officially T Money CG?
Yeah.
Is that a passive-aggressive yes?
Yes.
Did you change it in game? Are you T Money CGEE now?
No. That's good, though.
It's like, hey, CG Grande, meet CGT Money. Also joining us, of course, from across the pond, the one and only Mike Hunt's here.
Good afternoon.
That's right. Good afternoon to you, sir, who's getting off a long day of work and is here joining us. So I think that's
and dancing's just
the last person to introduce is of course Grim the mechanic. Is Grim there?
How's it going?
Okay, good. I was going to say, well, Grim, please be the same one that comes on here. Stanley doesn't talk, and I can't deal with these three knuckleheads. How are you, Grim?
I'm doing well.
Did someone just make another pork sound? I swear I'll end the stream right now. I'll turn this goddamn car around. I am not in the mood. That's what I thought. All right, let's continue on. We have a roster review today, Dr. Finn. Let's see. We have
our roster review is Luke Thyrocker.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Didn't we do him already?
That's what she said.
Besides that,
I thought we just did a roster review of him, like a couple weeks ago?
Is this a follow-up?
I don't think so. Hold on. Let me double check. I don't think we did Luke Thyrocker. No. We didn't do Luke.
Oh. Well, maybe he's just so ingrained into our minds that it's just like because
he asked for a roster review for a specific purpose during a stream. And we talked about it, but we didn't actually do his roster review.
I see. Okay. And of course, he's in Reality Skewed Gamer Sign, which is Finn's guild, and I'm sorry about that, Luke. I really am. All right, that's the end of the stream today, guys. I hope everybody had a great. Y'all thought I was messing around. I'm not. I'm ending the stream. I hope everyone had a great time. If you'd like to support us, go to our Patreon, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe. Yeah, sorry, Luke. Why don't you blame? As I always say, blame Finn. So, it's great having everybody on. I'm sorry we had to end the stream early, but I am not putting up this crap.
Back over here.
Nope, this is over. We're done. We're done.
I just have to say, it's Finn's fault. If I hear the call, I'm gonna respond. It's incredibly rude.
This isn't a mating ritual. What the hell?
It's part of my culture.
The hell it is. It's a great day for Canada and therefore the world.
So it's Finn's fault. Blame Finn.
So Luke is looking for a review of.
Oh, you want to actually do some work here? Oh, that's nice. Let's why don't we do the Ross review? So you two jerking off and doing nothing. All right.
Is Ranger this agitated without me on the lunch stream? Like, I don't think so. I don't tune in every day.
Pretty much, yeah. They do this crap to me all the time.
Because then when Dana's here, we start saying porg back and forth, and then, yeah, he kind of goes.
Yeah, it is kind of cute that this game does porg. I'm like, I hate it, but, you know. There's when she has Kyrie on. Kyrie can go in here and say porg all she wants, and I'll be like, oh. The rest of you guys are not Kyrie.
Yeah, because she says it all adorable, like, I want to see Finity dress up his porg and put on a doll's head. Did you hear that, T-Money?
Yes.
Ugh, God. It's ridiculous.
It was
adorable. I agree wholeheartedly.
Oh my God, it's something else. All right, so what does Luke want us to look at here, Dr. Finn?
Oh my God, sorry. I just looked in our Discord. Cyberpunk put a meme that just said, "Rest in peace, live stream due to porg noises." And there's a porg going down the gopher hole, basically saying you didn't see anything going in the ground.
That sounds not very funny, but I respect
if
that.
If you look at it, there's little wings going down into a hole. Luke wants territory wars and mods.
Territory wars and mods. All right, let's look at that. I guess just overall territory wars. Looks like he's doing okay for his arena, but he didn't mention it, so he's got number 1, so it's not too bad. Let's look.
Looks like he can get up when he wants to get up.
Word.
And I think Luke, correct me if I'm wrong. I think you just unlocked Treya, right? Because I think we had a Treya team for you on defense in this last territory war.
Let's look. Let's filter by Sith first.
No, because the problem is GG hasn't updated.
Well, let's look. It may be. God damn it, Finn. Let me try to do something before you just assume.
Right?
It says it hasn't updated in 7 days.
You know what happens when you assume, Finn? You make an
3 days.
ass out of you and T-Money.
He got it, I think, in the last 3 days.
That's science.
Why swgoh.gg hasn't updated?
No, because they're switching servers.
Yeah, it didn't.
So everything.
So we do have a Treya team. Okay, so we do have Treya unlocked. Good. Now, if Luke's in the chat, which I would assume he is,
he is. He just said he has their.
Yes, Gear 11, 2 Zetas. That word. We already know what you need to do. Treya, Nihilus, Scion, Trooper. Have fun. Go kick ass. You will be so happy. Just so happy. You can run Emphas. You can run Thrawn. You can just you go on your Sith way and slay fools. All right, so we don't even need to look at the Sith. Sith look great. Let's look at the rest of his roster and see. Let's just start from the top and work our way down. All right. Let's see. First order. First order looks solid. Very solid, in fact. They're all Gear 11 plus. Nicely done there, Luke. Well done, laddie. Very nice. So that's a really great team for defense. I don't know if you have the Zetas on. It looks like you do.
Can I talk about mods for First Order?
Yes.
So First Order mods are a passion of mine. Broken record there. But the Kylo Ren masked OG Kylo, he needs a critical damage set, although you've got some really nice speed on him. Ooh, that's a tough call. Yeah, you've got him really fast at 217. He gets bonus damage when he does his AoE from his critical damage, even though he doesn't crit on it. You get bonus damage from it. So he benefits from a fast critical damage set, but you've got such a nice fast set on him that I think I'm wrong there. I think that you probably just want to keep that set on him.
Get that turn meter going. Get your executioner in there and start Kassan chopping. Kassan chopping and raining some blood on some fools. All right.
Indeed.
I did get my, I've been wearing it for the live streams, T-Money. I got Urban Blasters t-shirt. It's amazing. I wear it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he sent it to me. It looks good. It's black. It's evil like me. And Urban, who likes to rain blood on fools.
I thought Urban was a plant.
He's a fern in the D&D game, yes.
We need him to come and play it.
That is amazing.
Well, you should hear it because Finn's like, so what's that? I think Graham's like, do Urban voice for the fern. So Finn's casts a spell to talk to his plane. He's like, hi, Fern. Like, what's up, man? This is your bestest buddy, the fern. Finn's like, how are you? I'm doing great, man. Keep feeding me that fertilizer. So you triple molly-wop that rogue was pretty badass, bro. All right. Let's see here. I'm sure more conversations with Fern will happen in the future.
Oh, yeah. There will be.
I would love to hear Urban play Fern. I think that's the perfect role for him.
I know. What do you think,
Fern? My gnome is so quirky, it can involve a lot of people. My gnome is nuts.
All right, let's filter to the next team. Let's just look at Imperial Troopers. Because we're talking territory war, so that first order team is for defense. Get Magma to 11. Thrawn Magma is a Treya killer. Finn, would you like to talk about the importance of Thrawn Magma?
He knows. I posted it in our TW.
Well,
chat.
for the rest of the people listening, they may not know.
Okay, so there's a couple of teams, and then T can talk a lot more about this too because she's really into territory war. So two teams in particular that a lot of people can get in order to beat a Treya team. You have your Danger Zone team and you have your Thrawn Magma team.
And who are on those teams specifically?
Yeah, so the Danger Zone team is primarily based on Wedge lead with Big, CLS, and Han, and then you can kind of throw in like a tank or something else in the final spot, and you're not gaining any buffs, and so you're not really triggering any of Treya's lead ability, and what you're doing is just voluminous attacks, high damage attacks, because you're guaranteed like a crit when when Wedge is assisting Biggs, and so you can kind of just increase your overall damage without having all of the negative effects necessarily of getting all those buffs by themselves. So it's the Wedge lead in particular with the health gain and the offense that really makes Rebels kind of killer against Treya teams.
And who you go after first?
So it kind of depends on the team a little bit. So Treya is the one that ideally you want to get rid of because the isolate can be annoying. The debuffs or the buffs causing you to do reduced damage is a pain. And then you can't stun anybody while Treya's up because she's going to dispel it. So getting Treya out first is what you're kind of looking for. The problem is if you leave Nihilus alone too long, he's going to start annihilating.
Right.
And so it's a little bit of a control. And T, you can tell me if you feel any different. Treya should be your first target, but you have to keep Nihilus in control because if Nihilus starts to gain that turn meter, becomes the target of Treya's isolate, and then gains another cooldown reduction, like he can get off a annihilate like turn 2 if you're not careful. And so that's why I would focus on trying to get rid of Treya first, but you have to be weary of Nihilus. Would that be correct with Danger Zone T?
I have never killed Treya with Danger Zone. Magma Trooper, I can talk about all day. The Resistance team for sure, and the Bastila team with CLS. But Danger Zone, my Wigs and my Wedge my Bigs and my Wedge are super lazy. They're just they're just so lazy. It's with my EP and those guys. I got duds CG, and they just don't work for me. So
Word. All right, now let's talk about Magmathron specifically.
Okay, so there's a couple of different ways that you can go about that particular team. So overall, the premise of the team, the Thrawn lead plus the Magma Trooper unique combined to give Magma Trooper 90% turn meter whenever he attacks with his basic on Scion that has a Zeta. And that's because he gains additional turn meter whenever he either resists or gains a debuff as a result of both the unique and the leader of Thrawn, and a Zeta Scion makes it so that he will try to inflict pain anytime he is attacked. So it is the combination of those two that make it really kind of critical. Now, the rest of the team, I've seen some variants on it, but the key is Thrawn and Magma Trooper. The other characters that I have found really helpful, one is Death Trooper, because of the AoE Dispel in particular. When you get the AoE Dispel, you can remove a taunt off a character like Sith Trooper, who is often on that team. And so Sith Trooper, removing that taunt is kind of important so that your Magma Trooper or your other characters aren't focusing on anything else. You want them to kind of focus and just take out Scion, and then you can go to the other characters and not have to focus on Sith Trooper and waste your damage. The other character that's really good on that team is Stark. And Stark, because he can do an AoE with a chance of stagger. And this whole team is kind of based on turn meter control. And that has to go with Magma Trooper and his special. So you do the basic of Magma Trooper, and you just keep on attacking Scion. He'll keep on gaining turn meter. So will everybody else. Just so you know, the other team is also gaining turn meter. Magma Trooper is not gaining 100%. But Magma Trooper is gaining it faster. And when he gets to every 3 turns, he can do his AoE, which reduces turn meter on everyone. And so you can kind of control the turn meter on everyone on the team, on the opposing team a little bit by constantly doing the basic and then doing the AoE. And the basic, AoE. And it's just kind of a repeating process. Death Trooper, because once you kill Scion, you can do Death Mark. And the 5th character kind of varies a little bit. I've seen different people use different things. I've seen Veers on that team. I've seen Range Trooper on that team. I personally like Shore Trooper on that team. But T I know likes this team and has used it a lot, so I'll let her discuss it some more.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I think for me the key is having Thrawn go fast enough so you can pass the turn meter to Death Trooper and then make everybody's cooldowns decrease and take the taunt off Sith Trooper. That's where you want to start. And then also modding Magma Trooper is really important. You can do this with like a Gear 9 Magma Trooper if you have enough geared support tunes. It's tricky, and if you're dealing with a Gear 12 Scion, it's really tricky. It's, you have to be kind of a genius with a lot of good RNG to pull it out.
Gear 11 him.
Yeah, Gear 11. Mine's Gear 12. We have tons of Gear 12 Magmas in our guild, and it makes it a lot easier because you can put a multi-tool on them, which increases potency and tenacity by 10% each. And then at Gear 10, I think Magma Trooper gets 2 of the MK7 security scanners, and that gives him 10% potency for each of those. So potency is super important on Magma Trooper because when he has pain, Scion is going to be taunting, and he gets 100% tenacity when he's taunting on top of whatever his tenacity is already. So you have to overcome that when he does his AoE, or you're going to get Scion going. And because Scion's getting hit so much, basically the first time he gets to go, he's going to put up Held by Hatred, and then you've got to kill him twice. Or a little trick that we did on one of the RSG streams when KP was helping me out with it is you take Death Trooper and you just kind of plan it out if Scion's got Held by Hatred, and you hit him with Death Mark just as he's got just a little bit of health left, and as long as you kill him, if you hit him with the Death Mark special, then he dies for good. So that's an awesome little trick. I was like, oh, yay. But you want to mod Magma Trooper with tons and tons of potency so that he could overcome that. So mine's over 100% potency on my Magma Trooper, and I've also got high tenacity, and that's not to resist pain, because you actually want him to have pain, because if he doesn't and things get out of control and Sith Trooper starts taunting, well, then you've got to hit Sith Trooper if you don't have pain, and you don't want that. You want to have pain so you can turn to Scion and hit Scion. So you don't the tenacity is to resist daze if you're going up against Nest, or to resist stun if you're going up against Dooku. So those that's the key. As long as you have your Magma Trooper with tons and tons of potency, that team just is so slick. If you've got them like 60, 65, then it's a struggle. It's a super struggle. And the only other thing I'll say is that who I use on the team is Krennic and Tarkin, and I geared Krennic just for this team because of how well he works with Death Trooper and because of his AoE stagger, and he works really well. He's got tenacity down on his basic, and whenever he gets hit, Death Trooper's getting turn meter, and you really, really want daze as a key, because you have to daze Nihilus to keep him under control in case you accidentally put a debuff on Scion or Traya, or just the AoE debuff. So you have to daze Nihilus, and then you also want to daze Nest or Dooku. So that daze on the basic is really, really important to control that team and manage that team.
All right. So that's a trooper, different lineups and stuff that you can deal with for Traya. Let's go to the next team, which is Night Sisters. Night Sisters look fantastic. No problem with his Night Sisters here. And Night Sisters you want to use against JTR. They're good against everything but Traya. I don't know how else to put this. Traya eats this team alive because they just remove, even if you have Talons and League and you're putting plague everywhere, every time they go, they just, and then Asajj just doesn't do enough damage. You're going to lose even with the Nest in there. I've seen people use that. It's just not feasible. Traya just, because they remove all the debuffs. They're like, okay, that was nice. Gone. And we're back to it's our turn.
You did mention something, though.
Also, with Range Trooper, Imperial Troopers are even better against Night Sisters now.
Yeah. So
going back really quick to the Thrawn Magma team, just something because you just mentioned something there. Enfys can really throw off your Thrawn Magma Trooper team if you're not careful.
I don't use Enfys on that team. The Thrawn Magma with Enfys? No, I don't use that.
No. If Enfys is on the Traya team.
Oh, yeah,
So if you're facing a Traya team with Enfys, right, the Magma Trooper team can really get screwed up. And the reason is Magma Trooper has a chance of attacking two targets. If he attacks Enfys, Enfys is going to counterattack. And if the Enfys has a Zeta, she will counterattack Magma Trooper, and your Magma Trooper can slowly start dying. So the other thing you want to do with that, the reason why Death Trooper is one of the more critical characters on that, he can daze with his basic, and you want to try and get a daze on Enfys so that she doesn't counterattack. Because otherwise your team can get really screwed up with Magma accidentally hitting Enfys and then Enfys counterattacking.
Yeah.
Or just have your Thrawn faster than Enfys and fracture her, and then just proceed to do everything else.
Yeah.
Well, what I do said is usually the way I would do it too, which is if Thrawn goes first, you turn meter swap with Death Trooper in order to do the cooldown reduction, and so you're not going to really be able to get. If you do fracture first, you're going to allow for a lot of other problems because everyone's going to have their cooldowns up.
Yeah, I throw his thing out, turn meter swap, and then say fracture. So like you have Scion and Trooper in there. See, Trooper gets off his taunt, fracture. Just keep him out of the loop because it takes him forever to get back his turn meter and stuff.
One thing I do with that team, and it's like a little bit of a chicken move, is that I'll leave out Tarkin and I'll bring in Raid Han to stun Nest. Like if it's a really fast Nest, I'm just like, then I just bring in Han and he dies so quick because he's he'll counter and he'll drain his own health against a trail lead, but so it's a waste to some extent, but the kind of mantra right now with having so many more offensive teams is take in more than you need, and that should be more than I need for that to take down a good Treya team. There you go.
Other thing, Night are really good against Mother Talzin lead only is Bastila teams. They really can lay the scunion on Bastila teams. So you see a lot of people using Night Caesars and saving them for Bastila walls. So you've got that team ready, so you're good to go there. Let's look at your resistance team. Resistance pieces, I should say, because we have lots of them.
I'm very disappointed in his Rose.
Shut up.
No, I am. Rose Tico under a Zeta Finn is a great offensive team.
I agree, but don't say disappointed. God, the guy's got an amazing roster. Oh, get out.
It's a Gear 5 Rose Tico.
Oh, get out of here, Finn. You're just being mean.
Work on your Rose Tico, Luke.
Yeah, you can throw that in there. You can keep Holdo with your JTR. She's a great tank for your JTR team with R2 BB8. It's been shown that really what you're using resistance for is against any crew lead. You got to have a fast Poe to do it, but once you do, I ran it and just wiped out the first order team that I faced because Poe just, if he's fast enough, he goes off. You want to have high potency with him, so in speed. Potency and speed is the key for Poe, right? You can just keep going and rocking and rolling, and with Trooper, and you've got Zeta. It looks like you got a Zeta Finn. You could really lay pain on this team. And Finn is right. Rose makes a huge difference. Is why I'm working on her. So this is a great counter to crew walls. And then you have your JTR that you're either using on defense, or if you have her on offense, she can do a lot of things for you as well. See what else teams do we need to look at for him.
Rose Tico, by the way, you don't have to go crazy on her gear or anything. You want to try and get her somewhere in the range of like gear 8, gear 9. Just so in particular, once she gets gear 9 and you stick like a security scanner on her, she gets like another 10% potency, and all you're using her for is to hit that stun, and hit the stun repeatedly. And so when you're splitting up your resistance, Rose under a Zeta Finn is ridiculously good on offense in Territory Wars. Because you can stun an entire team, assuming you have a Poe fast enough. It is, like Ranger said, kind of dependent on having a fast Poe. But if your Poe is fast, then you can do a lot of damage with that team.
Yeah. And let's look at Last Year Jedis. So you got Kenobi and Zeris. You can keep them together. You need to get Hermit Yoda to gear 11 at least. Basila's 3 stars, but she is gear 11. So you could go. So the team that I like to use on defense is Old Ben with Hermit Yoda, Grandmaster Yoda, Ezra, and Basila. So it keeps my Barriss and Kenobi together. Some people run Ayla on that team. Some people, instead of Ezra, run Ahsoka because she gets so many buffs. It's ridiculous. She hits so hard. But you need at least a minimum gear 11 Ahsoka because she's so squishy. But if you can get her gear 11 plus or get her like gear 12, Jesus, that woman hits so freaking hard. Oh my God, it's ridiculous the amount of buffs. Because the more buffs she gets, the more she can one-shot folks. It's ridiculous. So you're looking pretty solid. I mean, I'm looking through all his roster, Finn. He's got the pieces for some really strong territory war teams. He's got good counters. Anything else you guys are seeing looking through his roster that, I mean, let's
check out his, this isn't necessarily Territory War specific, but it is something that can help with Territory Wars. Let's take a look at his Han Solo Scoundrels, since we think that there is going to be an event there, and Kira Lead is a good team in Territory Wars, potentially.
Yeah, what's the lineup you want to run with the Kira Lead, fan?
So, I mean, the main thing is just having Kira with Enfys for defense, and that's just because then Enfys gets a lot of protection recovery along with her health steal and all that. So it's just kind of the combination of the two. But you can run her with the other solo scoundrels for like an offensive team and make sure that you use preparation correctly, and you can take out some squads as well.
Yeah, I'm working on those characters right now. So I've got Kira. She's going to be 6 stars very quickly here soon once I finish. I want to get L3 to 5 stars at least. So I'm 4 away from her being done. Young Han's done for me. He's 7 stars just like yours, Gear 8. And then Emphys, of course, mine is 5-star, Gear 10. I'm about to take her to 11 as well and run her on that team. And then, so you got Kira, Han, Emphys. Who else would you run on that team?
Young Mr. Mustachio.
Yeah, get Lando in there.
So there's a few different combinations. You can run Zalbar, L3, and Vandor Chewie. I do like the prospect of Cad Bane on that team as well. Because it doesn't have to be a solo scoundrel. You can have any scoundrel in there, and Cad Bane can be a nuisance. So you want him with maybe a couple of tanks, a couple of taunters. So L3 is definitely one of them that constantly kind of makes an appearance there. But you can kind of play around with it based on the scoundrels. He doesn't have a lot of those other scoundrels really leveled up for this. It would be a heavy investment, but just basic stuff. In prep for a potential legendary event based on the solo characters, make sure you have at least 5 of the solo characters, and some people think that Emphys isn't going to be considered one of them, so just keep that in mind. But the 5 solo characters, you want 5 of them at 5-star for a legendary event, potentially, so you can get the unlock. So his Kira's at 5-star, his Young Han is at 7-star, his Emphys is at 4-star. So that one may be one of them, but it may not work out. So just be ready for that potentially if they do specify the other 5. Vandor Chewie's at 4-star. L3 is at 3-star. So I would work on getting L3 to 5-star. And then his Lando is 3-star. But I'm assuming he's working on Emphys, and I can't fault him. But just kind of be ready for the potential of that.
All right. So that's all his team. Really great job, Luke. This is a really good roster. You farm the right pieces. I mean, I have no issues with your roster whatsoever. I think you're in a solid place for Territory Wars. Hopefully some of the teams we mentioned that you can use and different things will help you out with counters and things of that nature. I hope it helped everybody out there. So there you go. All right, so it is Wednesday. It's time to do some questions. I guess I'll do some... there's no events. You know, I did the credit heist today, and I got... Who wants to guess how much I got?
Did you get 4?
Mil.
It wasn't 4.
40 bronzium.
You didn't get 3, did you?
No, I got 5. Again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got 5 as well.
I got 5. I'm happy with 5. As long as I get 5, I'm happy.
I blame Finn.
Damn it.
Do we think the credit heist, I don't know, needs to get increased a little bit? I'm not saying go crazy, but make the minimum you can get each round, like, I don't know, 4 million instead of 2.5 or even 1.5.
That'll be when we get to level 90. Next question.
No, it's not, because...
like, first question.
Huh? I guess I could ask a question this time to support. I'll be fine.
Nathaniel Miller, question. Thoughts on Skeltrix's 8-person Sith Triumvirate raid clear? Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it was bound to happen. It's a lot of characters that most people don't have, though. But yeah, it was awesome.
They're talking about doing a 6 team now.
I will not be surprised if this one gets nerfed too. Even though most people can't have the tunes, you know, anything that seems to do well in the Sith raid ends up getting nerfed. Just saying.
Word.
And Newt will get nerfed too. Sorry.
Nathaniel Miller, question. How much did you get from the heist today? I got 15 million and got 10 million last time. I think I've used up my RNG for the rest of the year. I got 5 million.
Really?
5.
5.
How much did you get in the credit heist, T?
I got 12.5 million today.
Ooh.
Right?
There we go. Puts us all to shame. Next question.
RSG Vormax. Hello/Ola. Question, do you recommend Trey lead plus Scion, Nihilus, Thrawn, Emphys as a good defensive team, or with Palp lead is better at holding rank overnight?
Palpatines don't hold rank overnight.
Nope.
Nothing holds rank overnight, does it?
Not really. Treya seem to be doing a little bit better on most of the higher end servers. Palpatine is a hard counter to Treya Lee's, but the problem is if you don't play it right on offense, it's just crap. So, because Palpatine, so I have fun on offense because I'll put around the shock, and I'll just keep on gaining like ridiculous amounts of turn meter. I'll have like 6 attacks back to back on Treya and like take her out with Palpatine. It's fun as hell. But the AI would use the AoE and stun things that would just dispel the stun anyway, so it just becomes a waste. So they don't play it right, which is expected, but it's not played right.
I played one earlier, and Treya had no protection left, but she was full health, and Sion killed her with his AoE buff dispel. I was like, what? That's a new one. I'll take that. Thank you very much. Yeah, AI plays it bad.
Yeah.
Okay, Makwa, question for Sanely Red. What makes the range trooper so good, and where do you use him? What makes him good is that he makes the Imperial troopers that much more survivable, and also makes it so that they're constantly, pinging the enemy and counterattacking. I like to use him in territory wars and territory battles, and whenever I get a chance I use him in the events too. Like the Ewok event and whatnot. The Last Skywalker. Question, tips for using Bastila lead in Phase 2 Sith Raid. Team comp, things to pay attention to?
I think there's a really good video with running a GK lead. Because I still haven't tried it myself. I run Bastila lead with Ezra, Grandmaster Yoda, Jolie Bindo, and Hermit Yoda, and I'm kind of 3.5. I haven't got I don't have the Zeta on Flourish yet, which will boost that score quite considerably. But I understand that the GK lead is a better lead.
Yeah, if you time it correctly, the GK ends up being a little bit better. But you do need to make sure that they're modded well, because essentially the difference is you're going to go with higher volume of attacks versus more survivability with Bastila. And GK, because of his lead, and Hermit Yoda would be calling everyone to assist repeatedly a lot more. And so you're kind of increasing the number of attacks versus surviving more with Bastila and then being able to kind of do your damage. It kind of reminds me of the old I'm trying to remember the teams, but there was the Phase 1 team in Heroic Sith when it first came out, and essentially you were always able to make it to the Enrage, but there was no point in, I think it was the Jedi Ima-Gun-Di lead versus like a Qui-Gon Jinn lead or something, and one gave a lot more damage and the other one was just more survival, but there was no point in surviving because you hit the Enrage and you just died. And that's essentially kind of the difference. Like Bastila is good if you can make it to the survive, and then once if you're able to make it to the Enrage, then GK ends up being better.
Brandon Barons, question, which strip club are you taking Finity to in Atlanta? More like, which strip club isn't he bringing Finity to?
And the answer is all of them.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
He isn't bringing me to all of them.
That says Birds and Ewoks.
One night. 20 strip
I
clubs.
can just see there Finn sitting, cuddling his porg, knees tucked up against his chest, rocking
I'll be
back
covering
and
my
forth.
porg's eyes and my own eyes. Man.
Exactly.
That's all you'll see.
No.
What is that touching my lap? No, don't look. Don't look.
I'm a good boy.
Mr. Family Finch, question for Ranger. I think I have earned a spot this weekend to play some Battlefront 2. Thanks, bro.
Absolutely, man. I think we can set that up.
Tech Jericho, question, do you guys think Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum will ever get the Phoenix tag? Unfortunately, no.
No.
She was
It will ruin Phoenix, just so you know.
Well, she was never in Phoenix, was she?
No, not that. But you know how Hera's lead takes their uniques and gives it to all of them? Ahsoka under a Hera lead would be OP as hell.
We should do it.
No, that would be so freaking OP. You can't let Ahsoka give her unique to all of the
Actually, that would make Phoenix pretty easy to kill. You land a bunch of debuffs and they kill themselves.
Yeah, but then they also start gaining back health and protection with Zeb and Chopper. Like, they're not going to die. Ahsoka would make it OP as hell. So you can't daze them and then they counterattack all the time. Good luck.
Doyason, question: will we ever get Inquisitors in Callus? It's possible,
Yes,
but
please.
it's
Yeah.
unlikely at this point.
Well, you never know. I mean, I think there's a lot of factions like that they can introduce. The Inquisitors, the Knights of Ren. We'll see. I think it's not going to be for a while. I think they're going to go more KOTOR, the Scoundrel stuff for a little bit. But I think maybe next year maybe we can start seeing some of that stuff, especially with Episode 9. I think we could start getting introduced to some of those specific teams and stuff.
Matthew Mack, question: is there a big difference between 5-star Thrawn and 7-star Thrawn?
Yes.
Yes.
Huge.
Massive. Yeah. The armor that he gains going up to gear 12 is insane. Those gear 12 pieces are crazy. Yeah.
And not to mention the ship. A Gear 5 capital ship versus like a 7-star Thrawn, yeah, you're gonna be behind.
I thought he said Scion.
No, ship. No, he said Thrawn, right?
Thrawn. Oh, sorry.
Thrawn.
My bad. Yes.
You're not wrong about the protection aspect, though. Like, Thrawn's protection and like all of his survival abilities go up quite a bit, but the biggest impact I see is really either the Gear 12 plus pieces in order to get Thrawn faster, because Thrawn is one of those that you have to get fast, and the other one is the effect on Chimera. If you're using it, being able to get a little bit of extra speed on Chimera to make sure that you're able to get your insta kill off first and not have it be like a coin flip on every round because you have the same turn meter. Yeah, that's a huge impact.
Doyason, question: is Grim a mechanic or just a pessimist?
I am a realist.
I don't know why he can't be both.
Hey, I just tell it how it is. If there's a nerf coming, they'll nerf Newt first.
What?
He's
What
a
did you
mechamist.
say?
Luke Thyrocker, question: I haven't got a daily reward in a week. I also still can't do Node 3 in mods. Who can I punch in the face?
Finn.
Finn.
And apparently he's having an issue with having his mod 3 node even load.
Finn.
I saw that bug, and I also saw somewhere else the daily rewards not be able to be collected, the 0 out of 1. Did you? I hope go report that. If you just type in, I don't know the address. It's like answers.ea.com /
You can go through the game too. It's in the little gear icon thingy majiggy.
There you go, and just report it because they'll hopefully, fix that for you and everybody else, because I've seen it happening in another server. Somebody was said like, yeah, for the last, it must be like 4 days for them, they haven't gotten any daily rewards, but they've completed everything.
Helenix from UWOL Corellia and the GRDS. Question: I hear a Zeta Dooku works great under a Traya-led Triumvirate and Sith Trooper for territory war defense. Would this team be a ultra meta squad for the squad arena? Does he work with Gear 11 or only at Gear 12?
Sorry, who is the addition?
Zeta Dooku.
Zeta Dooku.
That sounds like your wheelhouse, T.
Yes, we did a video on that a while back. He's not as good for arena. He's a specific counter to I would say, well, there's a few very popular Traya killing squads, and he's a direct counter to Nest plus resistance and particularly Magma Trooper. He's very, very tricky against Magma Trooper. Really on that team, when you're running Magma Trooper, you want to be, I like to fracture Scion. Most people like to fracture Traya. Some people like to fracture Sith Trooper. Dooku basically puts another dang character in the mix who you really need to fracture him. If he is modded correctly with lots of health, you can put a little bit of offense on there. He will take down your Magma Trooper easily. He will counter just like Nest will when you're hitting Scion and he attacks somebody else at the same time. Dooku will counter. He'll put ability block on Magma Trooper. He'll stun Magma Trooper. The ability block doesn't matter as much because he's going so much, so it has to be very well timed in order for that to matter, for you not to be able to use your AoEs. That's not as big of a deal, but if he stuns him for one turn, then it's like, becomes over. So if you're putting that on defense, in Territory Wars, you want to put potency on Dooku. You want to put speed on Dooku. It is completely useless to put in a slow Dooku. It's useless. Get those out of there. 250, 240. No, those Dookus get off your TW board. You need Dooku to be faster than Thrawn, because you want him to lead with his special that has a chance of stunning and ability blocking and shocking, like one or two tunes on the other team. If he ability blocks Poe, game over. If he ability blocks Nest and he's faster than Nest, game over. He's actually faster base speed than Nest. So I ask my guild to have Dooku as with their fastest mods, which they don't listen to me, but I tell them, I like, get that one off, get that one off, get that one off. It has to be at least 275 to go on the board with our Territory Wars. I'm telling secrets. I'm sorry, guild.
Secrets.
But it's not good in arena because he's squishy. So, if you're going Traya versus Traya in arena, it's too easy to one shot him with Scion. It's a specific counter. But I do use him sometimes on offense just to see how he works, to make sure mine's modded properly. But the one last thing I'll say about that, I know I'm rambling, is that because he's debuff based, it doesn't matter against Sith, right? They'll just shed it. It's like, oh, you shocked me, big deal. I'm not going to gain turn meter or health for a little bit, and then I'm just going to shed that. It's not going to last. The ability block's not going to last. The stun's not going to last. So he's not really useful versus Sith when Trey is present. And then versus Bastila, no either. So, if those are the two teams that you're facing, which a lot of us are, in the top 100, then he's not really useful in arena.
Secrets are no fun. Secrets hurt someone. Next question.
Such a dork, Finity. Ski Trooper, question: what to use Chase for in high-end TW? With CLS going to a Basilisk team to kill Traya, I have great rebels with no good use.
Depends on your guild, honestly. CLS in some of the mid, I'm saying mid now, but it's probably around the 120s and 130s, is still a viable team on defense. So CLS, Han, well, it depends on your group makeup, but it's a combination of CLS, Chase that can still work on defense in Territory War. You can also just save them for offense, because you're not going to be facing more than 50 total Treyas on defense, right? You can't have more than that. So you can still use CLS and Chase against other teams. You can use them against, if somebody does create an EP wall with their other remaining, like Sith, Empire. You can use them against a lot of things. Chase plus CLS lead is still a really good combination.
Well, if you're stuck using CLS in a different team, you can still use Rogue One with Chase. That's still a really good team.
Very good team.
Yeah.
And you don't have to just use them under CLS for them to be useful.
Robert McC83 question: how can I get 8,000 ally points in a day? I don't want to miss the Omegas. My ally list is good with active players.
Money, 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 money.
Play a lot of Cantina battles. You get 60 for each ally that you use, don't you?
I mean,
Science.
Play them rather than sim them.
yeah. Really, I mean, the only way to increase your ally tokens right now is to increase the number of attempts you have at the different nodes. So that's pretty much it.
Phi Mock. Question: I can't crack the top 50 in Fleet Arena with Biggs X-Wing, TIE Advance, TIE Silencer, and reinforcement of Ahsoka, and Jedi Counselor, Starfighter, and Slave 1. Should I increase speed of all pilots?
Can you repeat his reinforcements again?
Okay, he's got Ahsoka, Jedi Counselor, Starfighter, and Slave 1.
What's he fighting?
Top 100.
He's trying to get into the top 50 in Fleet Arena.
Ah.
That reinforcement is bad. But I don't know if that's because he doesn't have any of the other ships, so he's like early game.
It must be early game because he's only got 3 reinforcements.
Right. So he has a low... what did he say his capital ship was? Was it Home 1?
Didn't say a capital ship.
Okay. Because... yeah, we would have to look a little bit more. Because... the problem is I think you're limited on ships. And that's kind of your bigger issue than anything else. Ahsoka, unfortunately, right now isn't a great ship. Jedi Consular, not a great ship. They have some uses. Jedi Consular can be decent under an endurance, but in general, Jedi Consular's kind of fallen out. Your starting lineup is fine, the big TIE Advance and the Imperial TIE, but
it was TIE Silencer.
Oh, he's using Silencer. Okay. So you may want to use Imperial TIE Fighter too, so you get more target locks. So I'm guessing one of your issues is that your Biggs isn't surviving. We would need to look at your capital ship, because you can run Home 1, but Executrix and Chimera kind of work a little bit better. And yeah, we definitely need to look at your reinforcements, because you need better utility reinforcements. He's at Slave 1, but you don't have Poe. You don't have Scimitar, right? He didn't have Scimitar, Sanely?
No, he didn't say anything about Scimitar.
Okay.
Did he mention Phantom at all?
Nope.
Because Phantom's a really easy
It was
ship
Ahsoka,
to get.
Jedi Consular, and Slave 1.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Slave 1 is good, but you also do want to have better utilities. Sunfac, really good ship coming off the bench, because you can basically stun two ships. Poe, because you get the insta-kill. You can do TIE Reaper still, if you have that, but I have a feeling, based on his lineup, that the bigger thing is he just doesn't have the depth in fleet right now. And so we need to get more focus either on the pilots, making sure his pilots have 5-dot mods, focusing on different ships and getting those up. But the problem is deeper than just the lineup, I have a feeling.
If he's early,
but we can help you with that.
If he's a newish player, he should be working on his Phoenix, because he's going to need them everywhere. And the ships are good, and they've got great synergy. So those are 2 ships I would say start looking at working on, because your Phoenix should be geared, which will give you slightly quicker ships and whatnots.
Who was the question from, by the way, again, Sanely?
Just a sec. Phi Mock.
Okay. He just posted his ally code. I'll take a look at it really quick here, just to see what his ships are like. But we can go to the next question, and I'll come back to it if anything looks different than what we just said.
Doyusen, question for Team Money. What about Maul in that 5th slot rather than Dooku AoE days, and according to Warrior, best AoE days in game?
I would agree he's the best AoE days in the game if he's the lead. But he is so slow. He is nutty slow. He is so slow. And that team, you need to have one toon who's protecting it, right? You need to have Dooku, Sass, Nest, somebody who's fast and who can protect them versus resistance. Because if you don't have somebody who's fast enough, all you need to do is you can be like, thank you very much, and you put in your Poe. When you see like a 260 speed Scion, it's like, oh no, that's a nice fast Scion, but a 260 speed slow Poe has 30 less speed on it or whatever. He's a very high base speed. So you could easily get ahead of a Traya team with Poe. You cannot. This is something that you cannot go up against EP lead with Traya on it with Poe, because if there's a Nihilus on the other side, he's putting health down on everybody every time they go, and so everybody's getting turn meter from that. So it only works against Traya lead unless you're super magic with resistance. I cannot do that. It's a Traya lead only team. Same with Magma Trooper. Really, there's other things that'll take down EP lead. Magma.
Yeah, and also against an EP lead. Don't they get negative potency up against an EP lead, or is that only Rebels?
Rebels and Jedi? I'm not sure. Somebody asked a question before about EP lead and territory wars with Traya. That's dead now because of Bastila.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of a dice roll. We've had people holding Traya on us lately, and if that's the case, and you put EP Traya on, then they're going to have a harder time beating it versus just Traya lead, because EP will walk over that. EP Traya will walk over that more easily than EP lead versus EP lead, but it's really, it's a roll of the dice. But Bastila will just mow that down. Lots of people are putting Bastila on defense. It's such a freaking roll of the dice these days. It's like you kind of have to like sit and meditate. Like I do that. I sit and I listen to my gut. I'm like, okay, what do I know about this guild? I look at all of the tunes they have. How many magma do they have? What are their Trayas like? What are their Bastila like? What are their what's their crew look? I mean, crew. Everybody's putting crew on these days. What are their bounty hunters look like? I take like an hour and I analyze the guild before we set up our defense, and so I like customize it for every single guild. So I'm trying to guess. I'm like, okay, these guys have, they're the same GP as us, and they have 10 Bastila that aren't guild geared. So maybe they don't care about Bastila very much. So they're probably not using it as a defensive team. Maybe it's an offensive team for them, because if they're using it on defense, they're going to say, hey, everybody, gear your freaking Bastila, because it's super easy to do that. So they haven't done that. So those are probably being held for offense. So I'm just kind of like looking at that. That's my favorite thing. I'm like just looking and trying to guess at what they're going to have on defense. What do their troopers look like? What do their Night Sisters look like? How many Gear 12 zombies do they have? Just like going through everything and trying to guess what the other guild is going to do. I love that. I'm good at it.
All right. I just took a look at 5 Mook's roster. So he has a few ships here that are like 7-star, more so than I would have thought just kind of looking. The thing is, he has a 7-star Geo Soldier ship, and he has a 7-star Geo Spy ship, not gear tunes, as we would kind of expect, because they're not super great. But he does have 7-star both of those, and he has a 5-star Sunfac, and his capital ships are 6-star. So he's not too far away. The problem is a lot of his ships have pilots that aren't super geared. So like his Poe, for example, is a 3-star ship and a blue gear level 50 pilot. So Poe is one that you potentially want to work on. His Imperial TIE is only gear 8, I think. And so that's not going to be a good ship for him. His Biggs is gear 11, but you have a 3-dot mod and a 4-dot mod on him. So that needs to change immediately too. So easiest thing that you can do in order to work on that team is I'm hoping you're running Chimera lead. Make sure all of your pilots have 5-dot mods on them. Doesn't matter what it is 5-dot level 15 mods is what you need on them. The next thing is you do want to try and get to 6E later on, not now, because that does add speed to your ships. But I think it may just be some of your mods, maybe some of it. Your lineup also, your reinforcement lineup, you do want to start working on your Sunfac so you can put in Sunfac ship, and that should help you a lot too, even without switching completely over to Geos. So you're not too far away, you just have some work to do on your ships.
Question. At what gear level do the bugs become viable in Arena?
I'm assuming we're talking squad arena.
I'm hoping so, because
ship arena.
I was gonna say Geos in squad arena.
They need to be a level 100 while the level cap is still 85.
There was that cool team going around with Vader lead and the bugs and Wampa taking down Bastila. I couldn't get it to work, but it was neat concept anyway. In ships, I would say you could probably go on offense. Depends how old your shard is, how tough it is, but you could probably go on offense with 10 and 11, gear 10 and 11. Gear 10 spy, gear 11 other guys, and then going to and then mine are gear 12 except spy is gear 11, and they get a lot more kind of beefy when you get them to gear 12, but really the bugs just have to last through that first barrage, and then you can just wipe everybody out after that. People say Tarkin with the bugs. I do not agree. I love my bugs with Admiral Akbar just because it gives them more survivability. Akbar is terrible on defense. The AI is completely useless. It uses the basic over the AoE. Like, it's so bad. It's so bad. I think it's the worst AI in the game.
That's right.
It's really terrible. But when you're playing it on offense, the first move you use is the AoE. Basically, the bugs get hit, so they take like 3 shots from the other team because they're so damn slow, and then the Admiral Akbar you do is AoE, and then 2 of them assist, and then they get protection regeneration from that. They take bonus protection, pardon me, and then that lets them be tanky enough to take the next couple of hits, and then they can use all of their specials, and then it's done. It's a 30-second battle sort of thing. Yeah, I can't remember what the question was.
That's right.
Next question. Is Stanley on mute?
Awkward silence.
Oh, you couldn't hear me?
Nope.
Oh, sorry. Ski Trooper, question for the Dooku Treya Territory War defense team. Which brings more to the team, taking Dooku to gear 12 or giving him a Zeta? If I do one, should I follow through and do the other?
There has to be somebody. I know. I understand the Dooku aspect of the Treya team, but there has to be characters that people can work on better than Dooku.
I agree.
It depends where you are in the game. Like, T-Money's at the point in the game where like that you might be able to get away with it. I'm not at that point. I can't waste time with Dooku.
No, don't waste time with Dooku.
I mean,
Dooku.
Dooku is like if you have
accidentally Zeted.
If you accidentally I don't have him Zeted. No, nobody in my guild I think has him Zeted. He doesn't need the Zeta. But yeah, sorry, I always forget to say that this is a tune that if you have him, if you like Sith, if you've got him already at gear 11, maybe consider taking him to gear 12. He's not that bad to gear, but if you don't have him start at all, this is not a tune that is necessary for Territory Wars. There's a lot of tunes that can pair with Treya, but you do have to have somebody to protect your Treya team. It can be Barriss, it can be Sass, Nest, Dooku, who else have we seen? What's his name? Savage. But he's slow. Like really, it's somebody who's speedy, who can get in there and just like put a little extra RNG into an already RNG, soaking team. Treya is just like, it can go sideways so fast. It's like, I have beat this team in arena 10 times in a row, and now this is just going so sideways. It's just you just want to tune in there that's gonna give a little bit, make stuff up a little bit.
Nathaniel Morgan, question, who the hell asked T-Money a question? Hashtag I blame Finn.
Aw.
Damn it, Finn.
Damn it, Finn.
Finn.
And that's all the questions.
Yay, we did
Hooray!
it. We got through. We did it, guys. Yay. Chewy.
Now I have to go pretty myself up to go see Ranger tomorrow.
Yeah, right. Like that's gonna happen. Since gonna come here all unshaven and messy and stuff. Don't have to worry. We'll show it live on the Battlefront 2 stream tomorrow night. Where I shall
No,
run around.
I have a business thing to go to. Of course I'm gonna shave. Well, kinda. My usual shave. Not
yeah.
I don't full shave. I look like I'm 4.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. So that's our lunch stream. I want to thank everybody on here. T-Money, you got a lot of stuff going on. Anything you want to pimp? You had Operation Metaverse last night and stuff?
Yeah, Operation Metaverse. We had two of the game changers from Twitch on last night, two of the new game changers, Cronus and Rudums, and they're just so fun. We had a little voice chat after with some folks. I was lonely, and I was like, hi after the stream. Like, someone come voice chat. They're just good guys, really, really funny guys. Their streams are really neat. And so we had them on last night. It was just a, chill stream. And yeah, we have a good video out right now, Crew killing Treya. And then we have another one coming out this week, ASAP, Veteran Han under Kira killing Treya. So we're just killing Treya. That's what we do on our channel, is we just kill Treya. We're like, we should branch out to raids. And then Maurice is like, I found another team that kills Treya. I'm like, hooray!
Yay!
That's kind of what we do over there at Operation Metaverse.
Yay! And the 8 demonstrals.
We do. Tuesday nights is our stream at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when we release a video. We try to release a video on that stream every week.
There you go. And then you got the Nerf Herders madness on Thursdays. You get
on Thursday nights. Yeah, tomorrow night for sure. At what are we? 10:30 p.m.
It never starts on time. I'm just going to tell people that right now. So.
We've had some really fun voice chats lately. Just kind of, we've had some technical difficulties, and then we've just gone into voice chat into the server, and that's been lovely. Just chatting with the community there. It's our home base Black Sheep family. We love it.
There you go. All right. So check out T-Money. Mike, anything you want to pimp on your YouTube channel?
Yeah. I just 7-starred young Lando.
Very nice.
So I did that during Credit Heist today. So I've now got a full a full preparation scoundrel squad that I can take into Heroic Sith.
Very nice.
So I'm going to be doing that. I'm 97 of 100 for Treya, so that's coming up. And I'm playing around with Geo's Houndstooth and Young Lando's Falcon in Fleet. So yeah, there's going to be quite a few bits coming out soon.
There you go. All right, so that's it for us. On behalf of myself and the crew, thank you guys for being here. We do this every Monday through Friday, 12 to 1 p.m. So you can check us out there. Tonight, remember, we have our big RSG Wednesday night streams, the longest running live stream in the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes community. Sorry, I drank some water. I'm hiccuping all of a sudden. So make sure you check us out tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we break down the latest and greatest news and notes from Star Wars Galaxy Heroes and tell you a little bit about what it all means. We always have guests on. We have a great time. It's a long stream. We cover a lot of information. Like last week. Oh my God, there was so much information. So we expect kind of the same. So make sure you check that out. You know the best way to check that out, and not just with us, but all these other great guys that are gals that are doing YouTube content. Subscribe. Just subscribe to the channel. Give them a thumbs up. It really supports them. You know, they take time out of their busy schedule to bring you the videos and give you the insight and answer your questions and all that stuff that, you know, helps you become a better player and stuff. And the best way to support us back is to give us a thumbs up on our videos, subscribe for our content. It helps with monetization. It helps keep us going. We have a Patreon set up, so if you haven't checked out our Patreon, please do. I want to shout out again all the Patreon sponsors, which we always do whenever we get a chance, and their support. We want to thank all the YouTube sponsors as well. We appreciate your support as well. So thank you everybody for doing that. So make sure you check us out tonight. We'll be back here tomorrow, and then we'll have Dr. Finn and me do a Battlefront stream where I go around braining him. So that should be a lot of fun. So yeah, so on behalf of myself and the crew, thank you for being here. Thank you, Team Money, for being here. Everyone have a great rest of your hump day, and we will see you tonight. Peace out. Sons of bitches.
Caw, Tuki. Caw.
Well, we were going to end the stream until Dickhole 1 and 2 decided to speak up, so go ahead. Go ahead and get it out of your system. Sound like a bunch of mentally damaged chickens.
Careful, you'll get Grande to show up.
Hey guys, I found some chickens. They look like people.
We could never end a stream right.